Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to another episode of Improved English with Jay. This is podcast episode number 16. Wow, can you believe it? Let me say this. On the podcast, like my English channels, I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your fluency. So I hope you're ready to have a good time. What's been working for me is reading for you guys some stories from the news headlines. Okay, so I have one that's very debatable today. Oh my goodness. It is amazing to see the day and time that we are living in and things that are taking place. And so we'll look at that in a few moments. Thanks to all of the new subscribers. Oh my goodness. One of my videos that I did, one of my lessons this week went viral, and that was kind of cool. So welcome to the channel. Every weekend I try to do a podcast episode, but I also want to remind you about the other lessons that I have here on the channel to help you with your English journey. So check out those links down in the description. One of those links you will find is my Parlay with Jay link. It links to my channel where I do English stories that I read, and you can shadow me as I read. I've gone the extra mile, and I have the words on the monitor for you on your screen, so you can see it on your phone and you can read along with me. So be sure to check that out. Okay. Now let's get into today's news story. If this is your first time watching, make sure you drop down and let me know where are you watching from, what country that you're watching from, okay? Here's the headline. Tulsa public schools banned cell phones, wireless devices for upcoming school year. That is crazy. Kids are so dependent on their mobile devices. It's going to be funny to see how they respond to this. Now, here in Georgia, right outside the Atlanta area, they are looking to do the same thing. They want to ban cell phones in schools. And I was talking to some teens this week, and they were telling me, I don't know how they're going to do it because we need our cell devices. We got to have them. So let's get into this article and see. Now, Tulsa is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I drove through Tulsa, well, not Tulsa, but Oklahoma last year or earlier this year. And I was glad to be able to visit a different state. But it says Tulsa Public Schools, which they will reference as TPS, announced that cell phones, smartwatches, and wireless headphones will not be allowed during the upcoming school year. So when they announce, or when you announce something, okay, you send out a message. Okay, you let people know what is going on. So I may make an announcement here on the channel. Join me on my live at 3 o'clock. Okay, I announce. Okay, notice they will not allow. They will not allow, or will not be allowed. So they're not going to permit something to take place. Okay, so you might say, I don't allow anyone to wear shoes in my house. Okay, some people are like that. Are you like that? I have a friend, and that's only one person that I know out of many. When you go to their home, you must take your shoes off at the front door. They do not allow you to wear shoes in their home. Tulsa Public Schools announced that cell phones, smartwatches, and wireless headphones will not be allowed during the upcoming school year. TPS superintendent. So a superintendent is a person that oversees other schools, teachers, or professors, a superintendent. Okay, so they are someone who takes oversight of a group of other people. Dr. Ebony Johnson said, the goal is to remove distractions. So cell phones are definitely a distraction to many people. So something that is a distraction, it's something that takes away your focus. Okay. We could not watch the movie, you might say, because the person's cell phone was a distraction. Okay. Or you might say, look, I am trying to focus on the test. Could you stop talking? You're being a distraction. Students are expressing concerns about the new policy. Of course they would. While most parents are supportive. Okay, so someone that is supportive, they are in agreement. They are united or unified with something or someone. TPS stated, well, let's see. Students are expressing concerns about the new policy, while most parents are supportive. However, both students and parents are skeptical about how TPS plans to enforce the policy. So when someone is skeptical, there's concern. Okay, so I'm very skeptical if you can wash my car in 5 minutes. I'm skeptical to believe that. Okay, or a skeptic is an unbelieving person. Skeptical or a skeptic. Okay, my father was a skeptic of me. He constantly compared me to other people and did not think I was intelligent. Okay. Ooh, that's harsh. Okay. For elementary and middle school students, TPS stated devices are to be turned off and put away from the time students arrive on campus until school is dismissed for the day. Dismissed. So they have to put their devices away until school lets out, until people say, okay, you can go home now. Can you imagine all of the students pulling out their phones, checking their messages, going online? Wow, this is going to be something to see. Emma Harrell, a second grader, doesn't think phones need to be completely banned, but understands the importance of focusing on learning during class. Of course. She says, I have to pay attention to school and I only use my phone in emergencies or ask my teacher if my mom or dad calls me and tells me I need to go, Emma said. And I agree with that. I believe that the phones should be available for emergencies. And some parents can't make phone calls, but they can send a text message. So it's going to be something to see how this pans out or how this goes. James Harrell, her grandfather, supports the policy. I think it's great. I think they go to school. They should be going to learn. They shouldn't be on social media and talking to their friends. Have their attention towards their studies, James said. Now, I agree with Granddad. I come from a time where we didn't have cell phones in school. And If your parents needed to contact you, they would call the school and the teacher would say, Jay, you need to go to the front office. What happened to that? So I think it's a great idea. The kids will be all right. They're not going to not be able to be productive. So I love it. I like it. The TPS policy for high school students requires devices to be turned off and put away during all instructional time. You would have thought they had this in place anyway. Bria Shapler, a junior at Bixby High School, understands the reasoning behind the rule. A lot of kids were videoing other kids. There you go. And they were also cheating on tests, Bree said. Of course, they're students. They're kids. Bria mentioned that although the rule to keep phones away during class has always existed at Bixby High School, students often ignored it. Of course they did. Honestly, she says, I think they might keep it up for the first month of school, and then I think they might give up because a lot of kids won't follow it. Yeah, it's kind of like we have a law here in Georgia where it's illegal to drive and text or to have your hands on your phone, but I still see people doing it. People still hold their phone while they're driving, talking and texting. So, for the first few months, just like this young girl said, people were getting warnings and tickets, but now it's something that's still done. In fact, some police officers still text and drive. Wow. Okay. Finally, Bria's main concern is contacting her parents in case of an emergency. James Harrell suggests that schools can develop a system or make exceptions for students to address this issue. Okay, so they're trying to say here that, they're going to ban the phones except for emergencies. That should have been the rule in the first place. But I think, like this young girl said in the article, they're getting tired of kids videotaping. Every time you turn around, you see someone recording someone else. People are in danger, and instead of helping, you have people just recording. So what do you think? What do you think? Should they ban phones in school or not? Let me know down in the comments section. Okay, let's read through this article at a faster pace without stopping. And let's see if you can read at my rhythm or with me as I read. Okay, let's dive in. Tulsa Public Schools announced that cell phones, smartwatches, and wireless headphones will not be allowed during the upcoming school year. TPS Superintendent Dr. Ebony Johnson said the goal is to remove distractions. Students are expressing concerns about the new policies, while most parents are supportive. However, both students and parents are skeptical about how TPS plans to enforce the policy. For elementary and middle school students, TPS stated devices are to be turned off and put away from the time students arrive on campus until school is dismissed for the day. Emma Harrell, a second grader, doesn't think phones need to be completely banned, but understands the importance of focusing on learning during class. I have to pay attention to school, and I only use my phone in emergencies or ask my teacher if my mom and dad calls me and tells me I need to go, Emma said. James Harrell, her grandfather, supports the policy. I think it's great. I think they go to school. They should be going to learn. They shouldn't be on social media and talking to their friends. Have their attention towards their study, James said. The TPS policy for high school students requires devices to be turned off and put away during all instructional time. Bria Shapler, a junior at Bixby High School, understands the reasoning behind the rule. A lot of kids were videoing each other or other kids, and they were also cheating on tests, Bria said. Bria mentioned that although the rule to keep phones away during class has always existed at Bixby High School, students often ignore it. Honestly, I think they might keep it up for the first month of school, and then I think they might give up because a lot of kids won't follow it, she said. Bria's main concern is contacting her parents in case of an emergency. James Harrell suggested that the schools can develop a system or make exceptions for students to address this issue. All righty, great job. So that's going to do it for today's episode 16 of Improved English with Jay. I hope you have enjoyed it, and let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you think they should ban cell phones in schools? In your country, what is the thought of schools having cell phones? Let me know down in the comments section. This is something that I'm interested in knowing. I recently saw a TikTok on this week. They were showing how, I believe it was Japan or China, somewhere in Asia, how their kindergarten students are being taught life skills and how to cook and how to clean and how to sew. I thought that was great, and you did not see a cell phone. So our education systems are on two different wavelengths. Let me know down in the comments section. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you join me next week for our next episode of Improved English Podcast. I'll see you then.